Hi everyone, Deb here. I am here for hashtag Deck the Year. I believe it is week 23. It is June 5th. My calendar's still on May. Oops. So last week at the end of my Deck the Year, I said I was going to use one of these Firefly ephemera packs that I had gotten at Tuesday morning. Well, as it turns out, there were bits in that bag that I had from 3 different ones, and I don't know which ones are what, except you can kind of tell, like, I have this piece still, and here's where what's left of the doily is, and I used some of it, but some of it I still have. So I still have that sticker, so I know the stickers came out of that one. I have a little bit of that paper. So anyway, you get the idea. I'm going to be using bits of all 3, and I did go ahead and punch out all the words, and there are a bunch of littler pieces of ephemera, like labels and pictures and things. And I don't know yet how I'm going to use all of this. And then as far as large papers, there were 4 full sheets, which I got out index cards because I'm going to use index cards, and I don't have 5 by 8 or whatever those new ones are. These are 4 by 6. So I decided, like that one, I'm going to make this card be this way. So the lines will be, sideways, but I don't want to cut that in bits, so it'll just fit on lengthwise, and then I'll have strips of that paper left. And I have other strips of paper too. Like I shared, I have these 2 pieces happen to be 3 by 4, so I'll save them and do an altered playing card with those. Or I can use them on these 2. And then these were a little bit bigger pieces, which they actually, if I painted the background, they would fit on here. But I think, except for and I might do that with this one, the balloon, sorry, I'm not in frame. I might do it with the hot air balloon rather than, I'm thinking I might back that on this. There's a dark green kind of color. This one was already cut up into, I cut a butterfly out for something. This has words, I could tear it up. And this is like a ledger sheet or something. And these, I don't know how big these are. They're not quite 4 by 5. They'd actually make a cool card front, but I don't tend to make cards like that. And then I do have those stickers I showed you. Oh, and then the other pieces I have left are this one, and there's lines going this way like columns, but there's faint blue lines. But hmm, I think this one I'm gonna um, do what I'm doing with the flower and bird one and make it go longwise. And then this one I'm gonna make go this way because the words are going this way, and I'll just add something else on there and maybe some paint or something. And this is pretty neutral, so I was thinking of using this one with some other scraps, and then this might be the first one I do because I think it will be the easiest. So let me get started, and I'll just come back and show you the finished projects. See you soon. Okay, everybody, I'm back, and I did as much as I could. I do have 2 starts of ATCs and or altered playing cards over here, as well as just this is what I have left of the paper, other than what I have kind of pulled out for this, and this really isn't part of it. And I do have, these actually are not stickers, they're just acetate, and my fingers are all sticky, so I'm getting them all smudged. I don't know if I'll use this bike. I might toss it, or I don't know. I might use that Never Stop Dreaming. I almost did. So here's what I did. This is the first one. Let me move these over here. And I just used that balloon card, rounded the edges, I either used vintage photo or ice spruce to edge things on these cards. This one was vintage photo. And I put this little round thing, I don't know, imagine, fun, an arrow pointing up. And this actually says Cirque de River. It's like a circus. So I kind of thought it went, you need to have courage to do some of those acts in the circus. And it had a hot air balloon on it. So I put it with the hot air balloon, which to me it takes courage to do that, or go up in a hot air balloon, because I, for a long time, wanted to, and then when I had the chance, I kind of chickened out. I was kind of, yeah, I was too scared of heights. And Destiny, and I don't know, they're kind of a mishmash. And then the next one, um, actually, all right, yeah, is this one. This was a scrap I had left over from some other project. The one of the pieces of paper was a partial and it had 3 butterflies. I used 2 of them on this card. This was a piece of paper I had to cut part off. And this one I turned sideways because the words in here are like that, and I wanted this whole pattern. And then I had this little, in the words, I had life is beautiful, find good in every day. That might be my favorite or my second favorite. And the next one, of course, you know I love birds, so we have a little yellow finch maybe. I don't know. Here's the 3rd butterfly, and I fussy cut them, which and this was a label which had a butterfly on it. It wasn't quite the right green for here, even though this has some of that green in. And this was a scrap of paper, and I just tore it and inked it with the green. This one's inked in the green. So I really like that. And on um, this one you see it's upright, but and this one I could have used the lines on the back, but I made all the rest of them, I think, plain back, but they are all index cards, 4x6 index cards. So that's my 3rd one. And then I had another piece of this paper, but it wasn't big enough to fill a card. So I put it on here as um, like a postcard on a background. And this was another piece of the paper. It was like a grayish tone ledger. This was a piece of ephemera. This was a piece of ephemera. These 2 were pieces of ephemera, but I only had 2 of those, which is okay. And this was a piece of ephemera, and this was one of those acetate pieces, and I put it down with double-sided tape just to strip across here. I think it's doing okay. And then good times and happiness. So I like that one too. And then the next 2 were definitely a mishmash. Not even having these in frame, am I? All right. So trying to make sure you can see them all. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 altogether, so I'll just bring these out. I had this piece and this piece. They weren't big enough to fit on the card all the way. So I brought in a scrap of one of the ledger papers. It might have been from previous. And this was a scrap, and it's hanging off the edge just a little bit, but that's okay. This was that doily I had a piece of, and here's the last of it. And then this was a piece of ephemera, and I don't know, this actually says upper circle and a postage stamp, a little blue star, hope always so splendid. And I did ink up in vintage photo on this one. And then the last one, probably my least favorite, although I like to live, love, and laugh, is this playing card. In the words, there was a word royalty, but it was blue, and I didn't want the blue on this. And this lonely little heart was in the pack, and I put it down with Fabri-Tac at the last minute. Yeah, so these were two strips, probably off a larger sheet of paper. And so I used them, glued them down, cut them off, and live, laugh, and love. It's supposed to be live, love, and laugh, right? But I did live, laugh, and love. And since it's hearts, I thought that was appropriate. And I brought in the royalty because she's a queen, right? Queen of hearts with the crown up here. And that was a piece of ephemera too. And then I had this, I felt like I needed something over here. So I just put this border. I was originally going to put it across here, but it was a long one. And I thought, wow, I like it better over here. Excuse me, I'm yawning a little bit. I've been up since early and I did yard work before it got too hot for a little over an hour, and then I said, okay, that's it. I have to go back out tomorrow and finish what I was doing. So there are my 6 altered index cards in an attempt to use up, and I did mostly what was left out of these 3 ephemera collage kits. I mean, you could essentially use this. I don't think I will. I think these will probably be used, though, repurposed for tags, because they're not a real heavy chipboard, but they're good for tags and stuff. So those will make like 2 or 2.5 tags, depending on, 2.5 tags, 2 or 3, depending on how thick you make them. So I might make them different sizes. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. All right. So that's it for my hashtag deck the year for week 23. I don't know yet whether these will go in a giveaway. I think I kept all the rest of them white. And some I rounded the corners, and some I didn't. Like this one, and this one are all rounded. When you get a double layer, this card is pretty heavy weight, and with the index card on back, my little corner rounder thing did not really want to do it, but I made it. Yeah. All right. I'll let you go. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me which one is your favorite. You know me, these 3. These 3 are my favorite. These other ones are a little out of my comfort zone, but I did them because I want to use this stuff up. Oh, I still have this twine that or whatever came in the pack. I'm like, I could use black on this one maybe. Maybe I need a little, maybe I'll put a little, would a bow be too much up there? I might do that after we're done. And I thought about outlining this in some, I might take like a black fine liner and just outline, although now I have that on. Maybe not. I'm gonna call them done. See, this is how I go. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. Hugs, love, and peace.